Check it out. There's tons of clips there from previous shows, music clips, what have you. Okay, so let's get right into the meat, shall we? Wow, I look sleepy. I'm looking at this picture of myself on YouTube as it's recording. I look very sleepy tonight. Okay, but anywho, all right, let's start the fucking show. Let's do it already. Okay. All right, when I last left off, yeah, ladies and gentlemen, by the way, a quick plug. I did a couple shows over the... Shit. And... Damn it! Wires everywhere! I did a couple shows over the weekend, so if you want to check that out, yeah, just... They're archived on the site, so... Check it out. But anyway, I left off yesterday. I was talking about... the Dulce base, and to be more specific, I was reading excerpts from an interview with a Dulce insider. This guy claims to have once been a security chief at Dulce, New Mexico. So it was pretty interesting shit. Yeah, so I just want to kind of take up where I left off. I'm going to sort of repeat the last couple questions and answers just so I can get us up to speed. Okay, so let's see here. Where the hell was I? Question: have you heard any hints or rumors suggesting that there may be lower levels beneath the Ultra 7 level of the Dulce base, and also where these might lead to and what they might consist of? Yes. Answer: yes. Your guess is as good as mine. Sure, there was lots of talk, but that doesn't mean it's there. However, I will tell you, I saw elevators that were off limits, unless you had an Umbra or higher security clearance. At that base, yeah, Umbra is it sort of stands for guys with high security clearance. Umbra or higher security clearance. At that base, information is supplied to me at a need-to-know basis only. My clearance was Ultra 7. Okay, so question. Some insist that the U.S. secret government has developed its own disc craft based largely upon top-secret anti-gravity experiments carried out by the Nazi German scientists during World War II. Have you heard anything referring to this? Answer: when I was working in photo security, heard a lot of talk. Never saw the proof, but once in the Air Force, I developed a roll of film that showed a craft like Adamski's, I don't know what that means, with the swastika on the side. Note: a letter from RJM of Pennsylvania dated 1/31/91 stated, I have a lot of UFO... Okay, that's... I have a lot of... I also have The Secret Land, 1947, Bunger's Oasis, and says they discovered warm land at the South Pole. One German author claims that the Nazis had a photo finish fight with Bird. And I know what you're thinking right now. Warm land at the South Pole? You're fucking insane. How does that happen? Well, I'll tell you. Geothermal lakes. We have plenty of geothermal activity here in the United States. Look at Yellowstone and whatnot. And when you're dealing with an ice sheet that's over a mile thick, that creates vast ice caverns. So there you go, man. Anywho, author claims Nazis had a photo finish fight with Byrd. This is something we've addressed before. Operation High Jump, with Admiral Byrd going down to Antarctica and getting his ass kicked by the Nazis. At the end of the movie, it says Byrd's intrepid 4,000 met and defeated Antarctica's toughest battalions, but that was propaganda. They really got their asses kicked. Another source has stated that there were losses on both sides, and the battle for Antarctica against the Nazis' last battalion, which had fortified themselves in an underground bases below the mountains of New Schwabenland, Antarctica ended in a stalemate. That's not the version I got claimed that that by this time, by 1947, the Nazis had not only improved on their high technology and were able to kick Admiral Byrd's ass, but they teamed up with subterranean people and extraterranean beings. Believe what you will. I don't know. I was not there, so what can one do? Question. Why would Adolf Hitler and Eva Braun commit suicide after Hitler had spent so much energy executing over 5,000 Nazi officials whom he suspected were behind his assassination attempt at Wolf Bunker, especially if he had a way out via a secret Nazi South Polar base? The March 18th, 1994 issue of The Plain Dealer, Cleveland, Ohio, carried an AP story, "Doctors Find Burnt Body Could Not Be Hitler's." Excerpts from this article include, quote, French forensic experts say the charred corpse said to be Hitler's is not his body. Experts falsified verification reports ordered by Joseph Stalin to appease the Soviet dictator. The body is actually that of an unknown German male. The forensic experts spent more than 2 years analyzing the autopsy report, prepared by Soviet coroners in the days following the surrender of the Third Reich in 1945. The body, said to be Hitler's, had an extra tooth and only one testicle. No German doctor who had examined Hitler before his death ever mentioned either anomaly. This is also interesting when we consider that the well-known abductee Barney Hill remembered the following experience under regressive hypnosis as recorded in the Paranormal Encyclopedia, Mysteries of Mind, Space, and Time. Barney and his wife Betty were abducted by gray-skinned humanoids from Zeta Reticuli. However, one of the beings on the craft was described by Barney Hill under regressive hypnosis in the following words, which are taken from page 1379 of the encyclopedia. Another figure has an evil face. He looks like a German Nazi. He's a Nazi. His eyes, I've never seen eyes like that before. Remember that this occurred nearly 15 years after Europe had supposedly been denazified. There seems to be an Antarctic connection with the Dulce scenario as well as other possible Nazi connections. Remember that this occurred nearly 15 years after Europe had supposedly been okay, blah, blah, blah. All right, so German tourists scouring New Mexico, exploring mines and caves, and buying up land and mineral rights just before the outbreak of World War II. The Nazi-connected CIA's involvement and their placement of several Nazi SS agents who had been brought into the U.S. via Project Paperclip within the Dulce and other facilities. Other underground facilities. The involvement of secret Bavarian lodges at Dulce and the possible Antarctican Dulce connection. Another interesting connection is the fact that the secret Nazi teams involved in the construction and operation of the underground bases below the mountains of New Schwabenland and elsewhere in Antarctica were called Ultra teams. Ultra is also the code name for the Dulce base. Also, there seems to be a direct connection between the Dulce base and the Montauk base in Long Island, which is reputedly jointly operated by draconian reptiloids, Orion Greys, and the Bavarian Thule Society, which had backed the Nazi agenda. Alright, so then we go more into this interview with this whistleblower, this guy who claims to have been a chief of security at the Dulce base. Question: Tom, Did you have access to the alien craft? Were you ever inside any of them? Answer: yes, I frequently saw them in garages. There are quite a few of them. The main fleet is stored at Los Alamos. Yes, I entered several crafts. There were two things that stick in my mind: the odd spongy feeling of the floors and the unusual pinkish-purple color of the lighting. The crew stated the floor becomes ridged in light, and the purple tint of the lighting changes to bright blue-white. The entire inside of the aircraft are scaled down in size when compared to the average human. The halls were curved and narrow, but somehow when inside it appears bigger than it looks. Certain areas, the outermost sections, almost felt and looked alive. I was never taken up in one. Question: can you give me more information on the reptilian race? What do they do on the 6th level? By the way, the 6th level is called Nightmare Hall. I mean, that's what the insiders call it. Answer: the worker caste does the daily chores, mopping the latex floors. And when he says working class, he means the working class reptilians. Apparently, there is a sort of a caste system or a class system, just like there is with us humans. Anywho, the worker caste does the daily chores, mopping the latex floors, cleaning the cages, bringing food to the hungry people and other species. It is their job to formulate the proper mixture for the type 1 and type 2 beings that the the Draco race has created, or Draco race has created. The working caste work at the labs as well as at the computer banks. Basically speaking, the reptilian races are active at all levels of the Dulce base. There are several different races of aliens that work on the east section of level 6. No doubt some collaborating Nordic factions included. The section is commonly called the Alien section. The Draco are undisputed masters of the 5, 6, 7 levels. The humans are second in command of those levels. I had to argue with one large draconian boss frequently. His name is difficult to verbalize. Pronounced throaty. Kasfast. I usually called him Karsh, and he hated it. Oh, that's how you pronounce it. There we go. The draconian leaders are very formal when talking to the human race. These ancient beings consider us a lower race. Karsh called me Leader Costello, but it was used in a sarcastical way. However, the worker caste is friendly enough, as long as you allow them to speak first. They will answer if you address them. They are very cautious beings and consider most humans to be hostile. They always seem surprised when they found many of the humans were open and trustworthy. There is no fraternizing with the aliens off hours. It is forbidden to speak to any alien race in the halls or an elevator without a clear business-oriented reason. Humans can talk to humans, and aliens can speak to aliens, but that is as far as it goes. At the work site, however, it's different. There is free speech in the labs. The camaraderie found in the labs also reaches the computer banks section. In those areas, everybody talks to anybody. However, everything changes the minute you cross the threshold of the hall. Instantly, all conversations become strictly formal. Hard as it was, several times I had to arrest someone simply because they spoke to an alien. It's a strange place. Question: exactly what first made you aware that something was wrong at Dulce? Seems to me that a place as obviously horrible as this, one wouldn't need an Einstein to know that this is a crime. A crime hall. Wait, a crime site, I'm sorry. What took you so long? Are you the guy who blew the whistle? Answer.